Hey, Raiders fans! We're back with an exclusive video and the latest updates on our beloved Las Vegas Raiders. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. That way, you'll always stay up to date with breaking news and exclusive content. In a move that has sent shockwaves through the NFL rumor mill, the Las Vegas Raiders appear to have pulled off a stunning coup over the Denver Broncos. By locking in Patrick Surtain, sources close to the situation hint that the Raiders managed to swoop in at the last minute, effectively giving the Broncos the slip in what was expected to be a tight race for the coveted cornerback. Surtain, widely regarded as one of the league's most promising defensive talents, was a top target for multiple teams this offseason, with the Broncos reportedly making a strong push to bring him back home to Denver. However, the Raiders seem to have played their cards perfectly, using a mix of strategic offers and persuasive vision of their defense's future to lure the young star away from the Mile High City. This development could potentially reshape the landscape of the AFC West division as the Raiders' defense gains a serious upgrade, while the Broncos are left scrambling to find a comparable replacement. Fans and analysts alike are buzzing with speculation about the implications of this deal, wondering if it signals a shift in power dynamics between these historic rivals, or if it's merely a savvy move by the Raiders' front office to capitalize on a rare opportunity. The circumstances around Surtain's decision remain shrouded in whispers and leaks, with insiders suggesting that the Raiders' pitch focus heavily on the player's role and their defensive scheme and long-term team vision, while the Broncos had the advantage of familiarity and local appeal. The Raiders reportedly promised Surtain a starring role that aligns with his ambitions and skill set, emphasizing a culture of growth and winning potential that the player found irresistible. This approach may have tipped the scales in what was otherwise a very close competition. Speculation is rife that contract terms played a significant role, with the Raiders possibly offering a more lucrative or longer-term deal, ensuring stability and commitment that Surtain sought. The timing of the announcement, coming shortly after what seemed like closed talks between the cornerback and the Broncos, has only fueled the narrative of a last-minute blitz by the Raiders management, catching everyone off guard as the NFL community digests this news. Questions about how this signing affects both teams' off-season strategies and draft priorities are starting to dominate conversations. The Broncos' defense, once a fortress, now faces a daunting task in retooling without their presumed defensive anchor behind the scenes. Sources reveal that the Raiders' front office engaged in a delicate dance to outmaneuver the Broncos, balancing discretion with assertiveness in their approach to securing Surtain. The players' camp is said to have been impressed by the Raiders' transparent and ambitious plans for the defense, which painted a picture of a team eager to contend and build a championship-caliber roster. Rumors hint that the Raiders' coaching staff played a crucial role in swaying Surtain, presenting detailed schemes and scenarios that showcase how his unique skills would be maximized on the field. This personalized attention may have been the key difference, especially when contrasted with the Broncos' more traditional recruitment tactics. There is also talk that the Raiders' broader organizational changes, including shifts in player personnel and a renewed focus on defense, resonated with Surtain's desire to be part of a transformative project. The optics of this deal suggest that the Raiders are not just signing a player, but staking a claim to reassert themselves as contenders in the fiercely competitive AFC West. The Broncos, meanwhile, may be facing a period of soul-searching as they look to respond to this unexpected setback in their roster rebuilding efforts. Speculation continues to swirl around the financial specifics of the deal, with insiders hinting that the Raiders might have offered Surtain a contract that outstripped initial expectations and what the Broncos were prepared to match. This development adds another layer of intrigue, as salary cap maneuvering and contract structuring have become pivotal chess pieces in off-season dealings. The Raiders' willingness to invest heavily in a defensive cornerstone signals their commitment to constructing a balanced and formidable squad, not just relying on offensive fireworks. Some analysts argue that this signing could serve as a catalyst for further aggressive moves by the Raiders in free agency, creating a ripple effect across the league. Meanwhile, the Broncos' front office may need to revisit their budget priorities, potentially sacrificing depth or future investments to shore up their defensive backfield. After losing such a key target, this tug-of-war over resources and talent highlights the high-stakes nature of NFL roster construction, where a single acquisition can trigger cascading consequences for multiple franchises. The buzz surrounding this signing is likely to persist as more details emerge, and fans eagerly await how Certain's presence might translate into on-field performance and team chemistry. There's also growing chatter about how Certain's move could impact the morale and competitive spirit within both locker rooms. The Raiders, often seen as underdogs in recent seasons, appear to have scored a psychological victory by landing a player of Certain's caliber. Away from a divisional rival, this could galvanize the team, boosting confidence and signaling a new era of ambition and tenacity. Players and staff are rumored to be energized by the front office's boldness, viewing this as a statement that the Raiders intend to compete at the highest level. On the other hand, the Broncos' locker room reportedly feels a sense of deflation, as they had pinned considerable hopes on retaining Certain to anchor their secondary. This loss might force a recalibration of goals and strategies, potentially opening doors for younger players to step up, but also raising questions about the team's ability to compete effectively in the short term. The ripple effects on team dynamics and leadership structures could be significant, as both franchises navigate the aftermath of this unexpected twist. Fans are already debating how the rivalry will heat up with this new chapter, imagining intense showdowns fueled by the personal narratives intertwined with this signing. Moreover, rumors have started to suggest that this signing could influence other players' decisions across the league, especially those watching how the Raiders are positioning themselves for a resurgence. Patrick Surtain is not just any free agent. He represents a premium defensive asset, and his choice might serve as a bellwether for other defensive talents contemplating their futures. The Raiders' ability to attract such a player sends a message that they are a destination worth considering, which might help them in recruiting and retaining talent moving forward. This has led to speculation that the team might see an influx of players eager to join a defense now anchored by one of the most promising cornerbacks in the NFL. Conversely, the Broncos may need to ramp up their efforts to reassure current and prospective players of their competitiveness and vision, especially after losing a key piece. The narrative unfolding here extends beyond a single transaction. It's about league-wide perceptions and momentum shifts that could shape off-season strategies and future team-building philosophies. The Raiders might have pulled off more than just a signing. They may have sparked a new chapter in their franchise's identity. Industry insiders also speculate that this signing might have a ripple effect on the NFL draft strategies of both the Raiders and Broncos. With Certain secured, the Raiders could potentially redirect their draft picks to address other pressing needs, particularly in areas that complement their revamped secondary. This flexibility might allow them to strengthen their defense further or invest more resources in offense, depending on their broader strategic goals. For the Broncos, missing out on Certain could shift their draft focus toward cornerbacks or other defensive positions to fill the unexpected gap. There's talk that this shift could accelerate the Broncos' urgency to find or develop talent through the draft and free agency, which may result in a more aggressive approach to player acquisition. In the coming weeks, the complexity of balancing immediate needs with long-term planning becomes even more pronounced in light of this development. Both franchises are likely recalibrating their internal scouting and evaluation processes, as the signing has changed the landscape of available options and priorities. This dynamic further fuels the intrigue surrounding the offseason, as fans and analysts watch how these ripple effects play out in personnel decisions. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy, drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Beyond the purely strategic and competitive aspects, some insiders hint that Certain's personal preferences and ambitions were a critical factor in the decision. Sources close to the player suggest that his desire to play in a system where he could maximize his potential and possibly contend for a championship was paramount. The Raiders reportedly presented a compelling vision of immediate impact and opportunity, promising Certain not just a role, but a platform to elevate his career to new heights. This personalized pitch, coupled with assurances about team culture and coaching philosophies, may have resonated more deeply than the Broncos' more familiar but less inspiring proposition. The psychological and emotional components of free agency decisions often remain behind the curtain, but here they seem particularly pronounced. Speculation is that the Raiders' ability to articulate a clear, ambitious plan convinced Certain that joining them was the best move for his career trajectory. This narrative adds a human element to the deal, reminding fans that player decisions are about more than just numbers. They involve dreams, goals, and the search for a place to truly thrive. As the news continues to circulate, there is a growing buzz around how the Raiders plan to integrate SURTAIN into their existing defensive framework. Rumors suggest that the coaching staff is already reworking defensive schemes to highlight certain strengths, including his coverage skills, physicality, and football IQ. Analysts speculate that his presence will allow the Raiders to adopt more aggressive coverage packages, potentially freeing up blitzers and creating new defensive looks that challenge opposing offenses. This could lead to a significant uptick in the team's defensive effectiveness, particularly against high-powered passing attacks. Conversely, the Broncos must now reconsider their defensive philosophy, as losing a cornerstone like SURTAIN limits their tactical options and forces adaptation. The strategic chess game unfolding behind the scenes has fans eagerly anticipating the next moves, with many expecting this signing to be a game-changer for the Raiders' defensive identity. The combination of talent and tactical flexibility that SURTAIN brings is generating excitement about the potential evolution of the Raiders into a defensive powerhouse. Social media and fan communities are already ablaze with theories, debates, and reactions to the news of SURTAIN signing with the Raiders. Some fans are celebrating the move as a bold statement of intent from the silver and black, while others lament the Broncos' misfortune in losing such a prize asset. The emotional investment in this saga is palpable, as supporters of both teams weigh in with passionate opinions on how this will shape future rivalries and divisional dynamics. Memes, highlight reels, and heated discussions dominate online forums, turning the signing into a cultural moment beyond just a roster transaction. This social buzz also amplifies the pressure on both franchises to deliver results on the field that match the hype generated by this deal. The intersection of sports and digital culture is on full display here, showcasing how a single player's move can ripple through fan bases and shape narratives in real time. The ongoing conversations are a testament to the deep connection fans have with the NFL and their teams, especially when dramatic twists like this occur. Finally, the wider NFL ecosystem is watching closely to see how this development influences the competitive balance within the AFC West and beyond. The Raiders' acquisition of Patrick Surtain is more than a headline. It's a potential turning point that could spark a new rivalry dynamic and alter playoff projections. League executives, coaches, and analysts are poring over the implications, assessing how this might affect game plans, matchups, and season-long strategies. The Broncos, now forced to pivot, may be under increased scrutiny to prove they can rebound and maintain their status as contenders despite this setback. Meanwhile, the Raiders' newfound defensive star elevates expectations for their performance, placing a spotlight on the franchise's ability to capitalize on this momentum. As the offseason continues to unfold, all eyes remain fixed on how this story develops, with the promise of further surprises and shifts in the NFL landscape. The saga of SURTAIN signing is proving to be one of the most intriguing narratives of the year, embodying the drama, strategy, and passion that make professional football such a compelling spectacle. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.